And we're waiting. And there we are. So I would like to thank you all for joining us. This is Threads of Wisdom. The Threads of Wisdom was created by the Golden Thread Grove in Idaho.
Golden Throat Grave?
Yes. It is a teaching tool for your year and a day pagan basics. Each week that you attend, you will receive an image of the topic we discuss. Golden Thread Grove has requested that these... I got them out. I gave them to you. Would you?
No,
the Golden Thread Grove has requested that these images not be distributed to anyone that has not participated in a discussion on a particular topic. And at the end of the year, you will have 52 cards that can be used as a divination tool. You got them, yep, and then you flip them around. You got the back sides.
It don't matter. They don't.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
So this week, we are starting in the elements, and we're going to start with the element of air. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let everyone tell me what you guys get off of it. And we'll zoom in so y'all can see it better.
Mm. Make sure everyone can see.
Everyone see that on camera?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep, I see.
Very cool. So go ahead and just stare at it for a little while. See what feelings, emotions, thought processes that you get from it. And we'll share them here in about another minute or two.
They can share them.
No, I figured we let them all know.
Oh, it is. You're doing that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kind of married.
Yeah, exactly.
The kids laughing.
Married.
We're married.
She doesn't want to direct, but she wants to direct.
I know.
She has trouble just sitting back and letting things happen. She wants to be in control.
I'm a Capricorn.
And I am an air sign, so this is right up my alley. I'm just kind of going with the flow.
See, and I thought it was funny because I was like, the card went up. And I was like, it's very airy.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, excellent, Zeta. Very deep.
When I look at it, it looks like
I'll go ahead and stop sharing. Everyone good?
I like. Okay, no, never mind. Go ahead. Do it how you want to do it. It's your show.
Does everyone still want it on screen, or are we ready to move on to start talking about what we feel and see?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you guys start it off. So who wants to go first?
Like the very first thought I had, because of the way that the air is moving in the photo, it like makes the world go around. Because it, like, you got the earth and then you got the air wrapping around it.
Very cool. I'll turn the camera so you don't have to worry about being on.
Yeah,
when I was looking at it, I thought it almost looked like the cloud was almost like a hand holding the earth.
Mm.
That's good. I didn't think that, but that's wonderful looking at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I see it, it looks like, a combination of power and rejuvenation and, cleaning.
What'd you get, Lola?
I just see. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm out of it. I took an edible for my pain, and I'm feeling kind of floaty. So, I feel flowy like air.
We all float on. It's okay.
I was
No,
just
but
going to say, I mean, air, floaty, makes sense. You're in the right
I'm in the
headspace.
right headspace. I'm airheaded. Shut up. I see like this element and what it represents can make the world go round. So a lot of, if we could just communicate better, listen better, all the things that go with the element kind of is what carries the world and can bring us together.
Interesting. Zeta, what about you?
I liked how it was like cradled. Like it's always surrounded, you're always surrounded by air, even though you can't see it. It's not really one of the most tangible elements.
Mhm.
So it was nice to have that like kind of visual reminder, even though it was like the globe being carried by it, of like it's always all around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I got something totally different looking at it.
That's what's awesome about it.
Looking at it, I looked at both the Earth and the Sun, and I saw how it kind of clouds things and obfuscates it and kind of hides things.
Interesting.
And it can show you what you want to see or what you need to see, but hide what you don't.
Wow. You're going deeper.
I also looked at the leaves, and to me, they were like signifying the growth and change and movement, because the air signs are very like, at least for me as an air sign, I feel like I jump from one thing to the next all over the place.
Yeah, we kind of fit up.
What's your sign?
Ariel, what are you?
Kings. I'm a Gemini.
Heck yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah.
And we got Zeta, our
Yeah.
coven sister. She's an
Aquarius.
Aquarius. She's an air sign.
Yep.
Resident alien.
Marcus, Alan, what signs are you guys?
I'm Sagittarius.
So fire.
Fire.
Capricorn.
Yeah.
Capricorn. Fellow Capricorn.
I won't say anything. The differences of the Gemini and the Capricorn are.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We like to debate a lot and be competitive.
Oh, be glad you're not with another air sign. You think you guys debate a lot? My husband's an Aquarius, and I'm a Gemini.
Geez.
So you got the twins versus the aliens. That's got to be a fun one.
Right? Totally.
Both my second degrees, Zeta and Silenus here are both air signs, and they plan all our Sabbats, and they had come up with wonderful ideas, and it really works really well. And then the Capricorn in me sometimes will kind of rein it in a little, but I haven't usually had to. So
We got all sorts of ideas, and we're more than happy to share them.
yes, they both like to cook. They're kitchen witches and air signs.
Yep. We're both a priest and priestess of Hestia, so
Yep.
it works out nicely for them because they get all sorts of good food and they're get taken care of.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I went and bought a beautiful Hestia statuette today,
Mm.
and
She's in her kitchen.
she's in our kitchen looking down upon all of us, protecting the house. It's awesome.
Not looking down.
But well, she's up above all of us, so she's clearly looking down upon us.
All right.
All right. So with air, we have different groups use it in different directions. In our coven, we associate it with the east, but there are some that associate it with the north.
Yeah, I'm an East girl.
The wise tradition.
Yeah, the wise tradition. What do you guys associate? Which direction or element do you guys, or not element, but which direction do you associate air personally?
East for me.
Yeah, I've always associated with the East too.
East.
Okay.
Preference for east, but have done the north, and there's a certain amount that makes sense too, but especially in winter when it's really cold, but I'm still like east.
Well, the way I look at it is so many ideas, especially in paganism and in exploration of spirituality, it comes from Eastern thoughts, and the Eastern winds blow to bring us that info.
That's how I look at it. But what's awesome is it's still a consistent presence in all covens.
Yeah.
The majority of the covens and witches that I've worked with, work with elements in somehow in their circle. So it doesn't matter really what direction. If it's just important to call them in.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just interesting the associations you get.
Oh yeah.
From
But
it.
Well, the first time I heard that, I was like, "What? Air's the north? No,
yeah,
it's not."
it takes a while to get used to in the school, but it can be done. You also have to do, like I was in a coven and still am, just 2 different covens that it was in the east. And then when I was at the school, all the rituals I did through the school it was in the north, and it took me to switch. It took some time. I sometimes made mistakes and called, but they're fine. They know if that's what's going on. It's fine. But anyway,
so looking at the notes, some of the things they've associated with air are wind. Yes, Alan? I don't want to cut you off.
Again?
Oh, you were lighting up, so I was curious if you had something to say.
No, I moved my chair. Sorry.
Oh, okay, no worries. Just don't want us to talk over you guys. As I was saying, some things they have here associated with air are wind, breath, sound, inspiration, communication, history, which is interesting to me, mental, and intellectual. Heck yeah.
history would be, I think, because of the written word, and you listen to history. It can be either hearing history, which listening is a part of air, and then the written history is writing.
Yeah, I guess I would think that history personally would be with like Earth and the basis, the foundations.
I can see that too. Yeah.
So that's an interesting one for me. Which one of those do you guys feel most speaks to you with your connection with air?
Yeah, I think with me it would be the actual wind, and I also associated. I don't think you read it there, but I associate the east, the element of air, with spirit communication.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, they say it's the 5th element is spirit. So if you want to put it in the 4th, I would assume air would be the more appropriate one.
That would make sense to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Zeta, Alan, anything to add?
I usually, for myself, I associate air a lot with respiration.
That makes sense, considering what your profession was. Didn't you say you did EMT?
Used to be.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Airway, breathing, circulation, right?
Yep. I associate it most with communication.
Yep.
Messages, seeing and hearing, receiving messages from whatever source. The big part of communication that I need to work on is listening. So I need to learn to shut up and listen. That's just a constant struggle for me because I'm a chatty Cathy.
Zeta?
Same, communication and thought, wind and change and movement.
See, I have idea and adaptability.
Yeah, ideas definitely too.
Changing.
And because of if we go wind with the Eastern association, the dawn and new fresh starts, that's another association I have.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. So, it also says divination, which is interesting.
Right, because I associate that more with water.
Me too.
See, the mysteries concept.
Yeah, death and initiation, but divination, because you go to Western Gates and you receive spirits and all that stuff to communicate. And
I mean, I guess maybe angelic communication I could see being associated with air.
So for
me, divination itself is totally a water thing. So,
Well, because if you're talking to angelic, that kind of falls in with Marcus, what Marcus was saying for spirit.
uh-huh.
Huh.
Fairies.
Yep, the Fae.
The Fae I associate with air. So angels I can see that flying
Right?
are flying what would you call them? Not
Not celestials, but
I guess celestials.
yeah, I guess it could be celestial in a
I
sense.
would consider it that. That's very air-like.
Yeah, air also carries, the smoke of incense and smudge, and which contains, if you do it right, it contains human intention, and
Yeah.
it spreads it throughout the space.
What, and thinking of that, it's interesting because how each element can have a cleansing effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So air allows you to move past the stagnation and maybe bring something new.
Breathe, take a breath, breathe, take time to breathe and maybe reset.
Well, like something we do in our coven is when we do our divination, we take nice, deep cleansing breaths to prepare ourselves for any messages. So it's almost like we're pushing everything out to empty the chalice.
Hmm.
Okay. Oh no. No, I was seeing if you had anything to cut. So next thing they have written down here is look at your communication skills. Are they effective? And it says not your ability to convey your ideas, your ability to listen.
What?
Real good at conveying, not so great at listening. I mean, I'm just saying, being honest here.
Gemini.
Yeah.
I've been actively working on it for a long time, so I'm a lot better than I probably was 10 years ago. So, but I still I have to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very present part of my work that I have to work on for myself.
How about you guys, Marcus, Ellen, Zeta? How are you guys good listeners?
Depending.
I tend to be, a good listener because normally I'm kind of quiet, and I don't talk a lot, and unless I have something to say. But if I start talking, then that's when my listening ability seems to shut off.
Right.
Mouth open, ears shut.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's an old phrase I use frequently. We were given 2 ears and 1 mouth. That's for a reason.
Yeah.
And
It's true.
is it soft of eye and light of touch, speak ye little and listen much?
There you go.
Yep.
That pretty much sums it up right there. Well, the next thing they put is something that we should all remember, and that's good listening is 90% of good communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's why I have a hard time.
It's one of those, are you hearing what they're saying or are you hearing what's being said?
Are you hearing it or are you just?
I've also found that sometimes we're so busy thinking of our response that we're not really listening to what somebody else is saying, because we're saying every little point they make, we're like, okay, I got this counterpoint, and I got this counterpoint, and what about this? So, yeah.
Well, that in 10 seconds into most people's conversation, I just figure most people are full of crap. So.
Well, I have a life motto I've always lived by, and it's terrible, but it serves me well. All people are stupid until proven otherwise. That way, I'd rather be excited and proven wrong than disappointed.
Yeah, I like that.
That's fair.
I'd like to say I don't agree, but I agree wholeheartedly. It's evidenced every day, and I'm like, God, are people really that stupid? Am I special? I know I'm not fucking special.
It's has everyone taken crazy pills? But me,
Right?
yeah.
So they also have listening to others, to your personal sources of inspiration for instruction and for gaining of knowledge. What does anyone think of anything to say to that?
One thing I've noticed, like with starting school, so I'm really intimidated by the fact that I'm like never been in an organized thing, never really practiced organized coven work or anything like that. And so I feel kind of stupid. I mean, I've done a lot of study, but I feel stupid. And so I find myself, it's kind of interesting because I am like one of those people that always is the first to speak, blah, blah, blah. I find myself stepping back and taking a moment to listen. Like one time Trisha was saying something and I'm like, I'm just here to absorb.
That's good though. It's a good. I learned how to do that through the school, and it's important if you want to go into clergy work with this, you know, because you have to be able to sometimes just quiet and listen to the person that's opening up to you, because you have to remember that it's really hard for some people to open up, so you need to honor them with that time and honor them for that braveness within themselves.
Yeah, when you're listening, you really have to, it's not the same all the time. There are certain people when they're talking, they're either talking at too slow a speed or too fast, and you kind of have to focus real. You've got to focus to take in the information. If you're spending too much time, trying to interpret what they're saying, you're not really listening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's also why it's not all 100% listening. You also have to be able to be a good communicator. And what I always say to my coveners and my family, you have to learn to read the room. So you have to also learn how to read another person when they're communicating. They might be someone that just wants to vent and doesn't want you to come up with answers. They may need just you to listen. But then there's ones that you should be able to tell by their body language and what they say, they may need your advice. So there's a fine line between trying to read people and understand what they want.
Agreed.
It kind of goes back to our conversation last week about the God, where a lot of us males, or those identifying as male, we're fixers, and sometimes we want to fix things, and what was all that needs to be done is they just want to vent and have someone listen.
Yep.
That's true.
They also comment here that be willing to expand your opinion, belief, perception, or knowledge. So for me, that kind of thinks, no one knows everything. You can always learn from others. Don't close off that ability.
Because knowledge does make you and I'm not talking about you have to be like the smartest person on earth, but your own personal knowledge and things that interest you help with good communication, because you might be able to add to the conversation and, oh, I read about this, how to handle this kind of situation or whatever. And so it all plays into good communication and good listening.
Yeah, and you can always learn. You learn things new if you pay attention and listen. I guess you learn things new every day. It may not be about any specific topic, but you're always learning your entire life. There's no absolute experts.
Well, I know for me, with these threads of wisdom and speaking with you guys week in, week out, you guys make me look at things differently and consider things that I never have, or in a way that I never have. And it helps me better understand both myself and the others around me, so that I can better connect and relate to them.
Yeah, that's true. And with myself, I have, joining in on these discussions like this, I've been shown different ways, because my thinking has been down a certain path, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing, forks in the road and other possibilities. So it's definitely, beneficial.
Well, we're just really glad that we're excited doing this every week, even when I don't feel good and I'm laying on the couch right
I
now.
know all I can see are your toes.
But it's still important for me to attend and teach my governors how to run these, because this itself is a good air type of example. We're learning, we are talking with each other, we're listening to each other. I mean, I can't get more air than that, right?
Well, and without this, I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I was desperately searching for something to connect with. And, I stumbled across your Facebook page in like November, and it was a while before anything really started happening. But I mean, I am so thankful because it's allowed me to expand in so many different ways that I didn't realize were available. So.
Well, we appreciate that, and we have just as much joy doing this with you guys. You guys are such a good group.
And we really are thankful that you guys join us week in, week
Mhm.
out, because it allows us to get to know you guys better and build a stronger bond with each and every one of you, and learn more about you that we can better, like I said, understand and relate to you.
Connection is an important thing that we all missed out on this year.
Oh, yeah. God.
Zeta, you've been quiet for a while. What's going through your brain?
Not too much. I was honestly just kind of zoning out.
It's a good, honest answer.
Zeta and I have taught many, many, many of these threads of wisdom things. So Zeta's an old pro. An old pro. The oldest. Never mind.
No, don't go down that road.
Okay, continue.
Alan, you have anything to say? You keep lighting up.
That's probably just me moving around, but for me, a lot of the element stuff from, I got involved with martial arts when I was 11, and managed to learn some really cool stuff. And so there's a lot of the element stuff that's very visceral to me. It relates to movement and thought processes, and more like Eastern connections of mindful skills and things like that.
Nice.
Interesting. Well, awesome. I think we kind of covered all those pretty well. The next point they have is something that I know that I could definitely work on, and that's think things through before acting.
We all?
I always like the explore the ripples concept.
Yep. And I sometimes suffer personally with that. I don't give an F if it bothers someone. If I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it. And I need to be more aware that that's not always the right thing to do, even though I know I'm right. In my own head, of course.
Yeah, I found usually when you don't think things through like that, it fails most of the time. It's I was like that for a while, a long time ago, and I learned, I guess, through trial and error, that I plan things out in my head and I see different scenarios before I open my mouth.
One for me.
I think too much.
No, and that these days I don't stick my foot in my mouth as much, and tend to get along with just about everybody.
Well, it's interesting for me because I used to be a computer programmer, and they use flow charts so that you can look for all eventual possibilities. And yet I never have really been good at putting it into practical life usage.
Yeah, I'll overthink.
Yeah, that's
way bad. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's okay. Yeah, that's true. That's life kind of flows that way. But I know different programmers. My daughter's a programmer and son-in-law, and they don't use it in their life either.
Mhm.
And it's funny because it's the logic brains that you think would learn how to use it in practical terms, yet we're some of the worst.
Yeah, that's true.
So when you're thinking of air, what are some things that you associate with it? Such as, tools, animals, times of year, etc. You guys can take over from here.
Blue.
I associate crane.
Like a bird, the big bird.
Yeah, the heron, cranes. So.
Yeah, I associate it with birds too in particular, crows and hawks. The hawk is one of my spirit animals, but I also associate it with the it's called by different names, prana, chi, different things. It's the I don't think the air necessarily has anything to do with the energy. I think they're separate, but it's it's when you breathe the proper way and you breathe, there's different ways to breathe for different purposes, but you're taking that energy in through your breath. So I associate it with that, with birds. The wind cleans the treetops, the air, things like that.
Yeah, like the pranic breathing and all that.
Yeah, that type of breathing.
Breath is so important. We forget how important breath is because we take it for granted because we just kind of automatically, hopefully, do that on our own. But breath work and what's in our breath and how we breathe is so important to, I think, a lot of what we do. So, yeah.
What's interesting is, if you think about it, it is the most necessary element because without air, you'll die faster than anything without the other three.
Yep. Well, you don't. Yeah. You're right. Fire for warmth.
Yeah, for warmth. You can go a couple days without drinking water before you'll die. You can go a month without eating before you'll die. But you can't go more than 5 minutes without breathing.
Huh. Interesting. I never really thought of that, but yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't thought about it like that either. How essential that is.
Yeah, you take it for granted until you can't breathe, and then you panic.
Right. I'm asthmatic, and I have times when I just have a hard time breathing, and I'm like, it's scary, It's like, ah. But yeah, other things I associate birds, a lot of fae folk. I mean, fairies, butterflies, and that kind of stuff. And spring.
Huh.
We're in spring. I think of air as spring to me.
I do too. It's spring, and like I said, dawn, and like that's like the new start thing, which is weird with the spring. I think spring is like a fresh start in a different way than like a new year or like a Samhain fresh start would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because the earth is waking up, and so it's that kind of fresh start.
Yeah.
Birds, butterflies.
When I think of air, I think of summer, like summer breeze concepts. And when you get that gust of air on those hot summer days, how cooling and refreshing it is.
Yeah.
Where
it also reminds me of fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The leaves blowing.
Yeah.
Crisp air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can fall into any category. I think
really?
Most elements can, but a lot of times people do associate it with spring. At least that's what I've read and how I learned it. But again, it can cover all of our seasons, I think.
Very interesting.
Yeah, in Toltec shamanism, we have a procedure that are, exercises a lot like Tai Chi. It's called tensegrity, and it's also known as magical passes. But part of it is the way you breathe. It's a lot of weird movements. It's not quite as fluid as Tai Chi, but it's short, jerky movements that are intended to stir up the energy in your own personal energy fields. And breathing is a big part of it. You bring energy in and circulating that energy inside your actual personal energy fields, your aura, or whatever name you want to apply to it.
Yeah.
Because it tends, the Toltec shamans found that tends to create like a plaque on the inner wall of your cosmic egg or aura.
Yeah.
And that tensegrity, the movements and the special breathing, it tends to break that up and free up energy.
Yeah, and you can also use breath to go into some serious trance.
Yep.
You can almost hyperventilate, but like a controlled hyperventilate, like what my dog is doing right now. Jesus.
Well,
Sorry.
I am actually reading a book on trance prophecy right now, and in it they speak a lot about the breathing techniques. They do 4 counts and 7 counts a lot, and the 7 counts, as Lolo was saying, it's more of a hyperventilation to cause yourself to go into that trance state, to get the messages, to get your blood flowing, get the carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide going, and the effects that those do for your system.
Yeah.
Well, they have something written here that I haven't thought about, but it's reading it makes me really curious, because we keep talking about breathing, but they talk about smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when it's something, when the wind blows or something wafts in from the kitchen, it elates a feeling, an emotion,
certain smells can take you back to, somewhere in the past, or maybe even a past life.
What does anyone else have to say about that? Because I think that's a really interesting concept that we forget about with air, is the concept of smell with it.
Yeah, the concept of smell like that would be, I didn't think of that, but that would be associated with air pretty strongly, because that's the only way it's going to carry.
Yeah.
And you're right, it does have psychological triggers. When you smell something, it can change your mood. It can also be a bad smell and, put you in an entirely different mood.
Like living in this house. I live with 3 boys. 1 grown boy man and 2 boys. It always smells in here. And dogs. And me.
And there it is.
Be quiet. Continue.
But no, I totally can kind of dig that, because there are certain smells that definitely, like, so my husband is super sensitive to smell, and it sucks because I like it. I would totally burn candles, totally have a lot of incense. He will literally come home after work and be like, "Did you light an incense?" I'm like, "No, it's a new bath oil." "Well, that really stinks." And I'm like, "Well, you just need to fuck off." Like last night, for instance, that happened last night, and it was just this brand new bath oil. And I'm like, "No, I promise I didn't light any incense. Calm the fuck down."
But that's important, because our house really, I make it sound like it stinks all the time. We do live, we're witches. We love our incense and our candles and our essential oils. And so our house smells like, a new age store all the time.
Right?
With stinky boys.
Well, and Lola had mentioned, smells and memories. They say that it is the number one of your senses that affect memory is the sense of smell. It can bring you back to, if you smell a perfume that reminds you of grandma or your mom, or if you go walking by a restaurant and they're making a dish that, is similar to something you grew up with, and you get that peaceful feeling. Also, if you had maybe you don't like being in basements, and so you get that musty smell, and it triggers those kind of memories.
Yeah.
They even say that it's a good way to study for tests to have a smell continuously that you use when you study. So, and then to take it with you and recreate it when you go to test.
Oh, that's
Because
cool.
it'll actually help you remember the information.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Same with chewing gum because of the smell and the sensation. Yep.
Interesting.
Well, they say, to keep yourself in the same mindset. If you were studying and you were having a glass of wine, try to, don't go past where you're at, but try to correlate as much as you can, so that your same mindset is when you're trying to focus in and remember what it is. So that's excellent. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Put that one down in the memory file.
Yeah.
Well, many years as a student.
Do you know what that means there?
What?
It says S words.
I have. Or what? Swords.
Oh, well,
Oh, wait, no.
It's
S words.
It's not swords. It's definitely S words.
I don't know.
Unless they put a dash in there. Well, and if you're doing tarot, what is the tarot cards or the tarot deck or house that's associated with air?
Is it wands or swords? I know it's one of the two. I can't
It
recall.
can be either, to be honest.
Depends on
You'll
the
learn both ways.
So I wonder if that's why. I wonder if it was supposed to be swords. It said S-words, and I was really confused by it. I'm like, I don't know what this S words means.
Shit. No.
It's the first thing that passed through my mind, but I didn't.
Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, shit definitely has a distinct smell.
We all laugh at the poop joke. Come on.
Well, it's human. We all do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes more sense if it's swords. I'm gonna take out that dash because. Yeah, I just looked at it. I'm like, I have no idea what this is trying to tell me here, so I don't know how to use this.
Swear words.
Doing this on purpose.
Well, we are coming up on our time, so I'm going to go ahead and put the image back up for us, and let's talk about what we would get from it if we got it during a divination. So bear with me 1 second here. I'll put it back on screen.
It's up to you.
I was going to...
Go. You do what you do. You
I'm going to do me.
do you.
So if you got this card in a tarot reading or a divination reading, what would you feel the message is trying to be conveyed to you?
I would say definitely change of some sort.
It's time to roll with the punches.
Let it go.
Ooh.
That's a good...
Let it go. Sorry.
Totally.
Alan?
Oh my God.
I would say changing situation.
Yeah, that's what I get from it as well is, everything's always changing from one day to the next. It could be cloudy one day and the next day it could be beautiful. Don't become stagnant. Lola?
By the way, she's doing it on purpose, so I keep petting her now.
Yeah.
She figured it out. If I got this in a reading as of today, I would feel like just keep working on my communication, but all of it, it's a good skill to polish and work on. Stop it.
How do I copy this?
Okay, so you want to stop sharing.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Get back to my screen. Bear with me, guys.
No worries.
And I'm going to try to get it to post here in this.
So then you go to the photo itself.
Okay.
And then you do the I believe the share, and it should let you copy a link.
Copy file.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
copy and paste it in the chat.
Still learning this one, guys. Lola's always handled this, so I'm trying to help her out and take these things over, so bear with me. So it should be in the chat now for you guys to download.
And it is.
Make sure you guys are able to get it.
Oh, stupid phone. Saved.
Okay. Yep, add it to your Witch Pokédex.
No, one of these days I'm gonna have to figure out how to get them all off there and print them out and laminate them like Lolas are cool.
I didn't do it. That was.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Trish,
I know it can be done. I just don't know if I want to try to tackle that beast.
and you got to deal with Trish. She's amazing. She is one of the coolest ladies at the school.
I love her.
Yeah, she's cool.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
I
think
can't wait to do the astrology course, but
Oh,
it doesn't start till July.
she's really good at that. And her doing these cards for me is what inspired me to start doing these online for people.
Well, I'm very thankful that she did that.
Yes, she was.
Is everyone able to download that so I can remove it from the screen?
I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Where is your school at, by the way?
It's online.
Oh,
It's
online.
actually
okay.
located in Index, Washington, physically, but it's online.
Why don't you put the,
Okay.
would you like the? We'll put the link in the www.wikiseminary.
Is she putting the address for the school in the link or in the chat?
Okay.
Yep, and it is a fully accredited school. You can get bachelor's or master's and associate's degrees.
It's not accredited yet. They're in the process, but
Okay.
it is recognized.
Okay, excuse me, recognized.
Yes, it is recognized. Your degrees are recognized. But you need other schools like it to be able to accredit,
Okay.
and they're actually doing that right now.
And it is the first for Wiccan clergy.
Yeah.
So you know, like Lola has a degree from there, so she is the Reverend Lola Stardust.
Or you can call me Lady Stardust.
I like to call her Rev.
Rev. What's up, Rev?
What's up, Rev?
What's up, Rev?
So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. If we have helped facilitate a spiritual experience for you today, please consider donating to Children of the Crossroads ATC to help events like this. Your gifts of any amount are greatly appreciated, and your donations may be tax deductible, as Children of the Crossroads ATC is a 501c3 nonprofit. You can make your donations to either one of the two below. We do have a PayPal and a Venmo,
It's in the chat.
and it is in the chat. So we would just like to say thank you, and once again, for you guys attending and helping communicate with this. Your guys' input makes it so much easier so that me and Lola just don't have to ramble the whole time. We can do it.
We're
Trust us.
really good at it, but we appreciate the feedback.
Well, and we get a
and
lot
the
out of it.
discussion.
Like we were saying, you guys have opened my ideas to whole bunches of different ideas and concepts to look at it that I never used before or considered.
Right? Like, I've never heard of shamanism until Marcus really started talking about it. And then I was like, oh, cool. Well, what's shamanism? I'm kind of curious.
Nice.
It's nice to have a nice, well-rounded group of people.
Sweet kiss.
So next week, guys, at same bat time, same bat channel, we'll be dealing with fire.
My favorite.
Yeah, don't get burned.
Too late.
We've
So-
all been burned.
I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now.